So I decided that I'm just gonna do super shorts this time. If you ain't got the attention span for 3 minutes, then to-do. Alright, let's go. It is difficult to understand how awful censorship is and the breadth of negative effects it necessarily causes. At its core, censorship violates free speech, which is a foundational prerequisite of a free society. As famed author George Orwell said, if liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. Suppressing ideas that challenge those in power leads to a tyrannical state and empowers the elite to impose their evil designs on the masses. Another reason why censorship is a horrible idea is that it suppresses truth, preventing factual information from competing in a marketplace of ideas. When the government puts its finger on the scale, it leads people to believe certain things are correct simply because officials said so, not because they critically evaluate the idea in contrast to competing ideas. History is full of examples of government officials lying or simply being wrong when they impose these bad ideas on others and give them an official stamp of approval. They are preventing the free flow of ideas that will allow the truth to be identified and embraced by the majority of people. There are many more reasons for why censorship is evil. Let's briefly review a few of them. Censorship inhibits knowledge, restricting access to information. Restricting access to information impedes intellectual growth by denying people the ability to understand truth. This imposes a ceiling or limit on the amount of knowledge a person can gain, arbitrarily put in place by government officials who want to hide certain information from the public. Censorship stifles innovation. When information is restricted, individuals are denied access to diverging perspectives and critical feedback, which is essential for creative and scientific breakthroughs. If those in power punish people who like to challenge unapproved ideas, then they will likely be unlikely to challenge those ideas in pursuit of discovering new truths. Censorship effectively puts a brake on the creative processes that drive technological advancements and societal improvements. Censorship grows the government. When those in power trying to control and manipulate information, they enlist in their cause vast numbers of enforcement agents to carry out their censorious designs. Hello guys, so today I'm going to be recording and posting my reading so I can be more consistent with it, because even though I'm in community college, I do not like reading unless I need to do it. So let's hope this can get me into the habit of reading. I'm gonna start. Why is it the worst idea? Yes, I kind of just start where I left off in this book already. In April 2022, the Undersecretary General for Global Communications at the United Nations, Melissa Fleming, proudly announced a partnership with Google. So this is the second bit to this thing where I record my reading so I can be more consistent with reading. I'm going where I left off last. To match what people see when using the popular search engine to research climate change, Fleming boasted that as a result of this initiative, users will find something authoritative information from the United Nations in order to ensure that factual, trustworthy about climate change is available to as wide a global audience as possible. Of course, what politicians and bureaucrats call factual, trustworthy content is often false information, and what they call this misinformation is often true but in conflict with their plans and desires. End of thing. Hello guys, this is gonna conclude the super short for this reading session, but I'm probably gonna keep reading obviously, so don't expect the post to stop. Censorship is effective whether it's done by the state's agents directly or in partnership between the state and the private sector, such as social media companies colluding with the federal government to suppress true but unpopular information about COVID-19. Our tech-enabled world presents both a challenge and an opportunity with censorship. The opportunity is that each of us can be a citizen journalist seeking out and sharing information with others using a variety of online platforms that make it easy to publish ideas. The challenge is that more popular publishing sites are centralized under the control of few corporations, the owners and employees of which are heavily supportive of leftist Democrats. Conscription. Forcing individuals into military service against their will is a violation of personal freedom, akin to state-sanctioned slavery. Little cartoon here. Gotcha! Now off to war you boys go! But I'm not responsible for that. I don't even believe in the cause. Pretty sure we can all relate to that with Trump's draft. Where it is written in the Constitution, in what article or section it is contained, that you may take children from their parents and parents from their children, and compel them to fight the battles of any war in which the folly or the wickedness of government may engage it. Words of Daniel Webster. Didn't that guy create the Webster Dictionary? You know about the Civil War, the fight between the states. Instigated by Abraham Lincoln in order to quash the Southern states' secession and keep the Union intact. But did you know that there was a civil war within the Civil War? Huh. It happened in Lower Manhattan, New York, in July 1863. For years, the city had become a magnet for immigrants, particularly from Ireland to Germany, and the political machine in New York worked hard to help these migrants become citizens in order to bolster their electoral chances. But these new citizens quickly discovered they were being sought after as cannon fodder, subject to a newly enacted conscription law passed by Congress just a few weeks prior. The Civil War Military Draft Act became the first national conscription law in the United States, requiring every male. Alright, last short before I not really go to bed, but just, I don't know, go chill. Times founder Henry Raymond was among the group defending their property. The federal government sent troops in to suppress the riots, some 4,000 soldiers of the Gettysburg Campaign to assist. By the time they succeeded, days after the riots first began, more than 50 buildings had been burned to the ground. Over 2,000 people had been injured and hundreds had died. You still there? The draft riot of 1863, as it's now known, remains one of the deadliest episodes of civil unrest in American history. While the Civil War within the Civil War had ended, conscription continued both in the North and the South. The Union compelled 168